I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me. And what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan, your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the fucking hours it takes to get some power. Don't be fucking sour, take a cold shower, scream until you're louder, work until you're prouder.
What's up guys, it's Karate Fox of the Minecraft Military Force and welcome to Arsenal Update number 15. And as always, if you guys want, you can download these worlds on my Patreon. It really does support the channel because as you know, YouTube only pays me like $3 for these videos. But if you become a Patreon, you can download this world on Java and Bedrock. But yeah, let's get started. Alright, so first off, we're going to take a look at the V-22 Osprey. This is, I think, the coolest vehicle out of this update. And yeah, it's a very iconic United States Air Force, Navy plane. And this one in particular is from the United States Marine Corps. They actually call it the MV-22. It's not just V-22 by itself. And this is the MV-22B. So here's how it looks like. It's a tilt rotor aircraft. So I have it also transitioned to like a regular airplane propellers. So it's like a helicopter plane hybrid. But I also have a new version over here where it's actually like in storage mode, and this is especially useful if you want to put it on a ship. So I plan to make a version of this for the Nimitz aircraft carrier. Also, if you go way in the back, we have the Ohio-class submarine. So this has been added to the arsenal since we have that tutorial video. So if you guys want to just download it without following the tutorial, here it is. I also have the Trident 2 missile right over here firing out next to the other, ICBM launchers. I also finished up the Panzer VII Maus. This is a heavy tank used by the Germans, or actually they were developing it. Didn't really see actual combat, but it does actually exist in real life in the Kubinka Tank Museum, which is going to be in my military sets map. I already made a video of it. So inside the World War II pavilion, you're going to find the Maus, and this is all complete camouflage. Here's how it looks like on display. I also finished up the Type 90 tank from the JGSDF, the Japan Ground Self-Defense Force, and here is the brand new design. And I also updated the Iraqi T-72M1 tank. The old one was by Sunset Aurora, but now we have this new one, which fits in like all our other T-72 tanks, because we're building so many. This one's nicknamed the Lion of Babylon, used by Iraq during the Gulf War and the Iraq War. Now, if we go down this section where we have our Soviet tanks, we got some brand new T-72. So actually two main types. So one is going to be the T-72AV, and they have this extra ERA armor on top. Especially you can see where I placed like the fence gate and the trap door in the front. That's the main way you can tell in Minecraft. And also compared to the T-72B, which I also built right here. You can see the antennas here in the middle versus on the T-72AV, this one's off to the side. So that's a little different. Another difference, for this one, actually made the machine gun face backwards. So, it can look a lot better with that shield in the front. And yeah, this is like the brand new turret shield thing. So yeah, pretty cool design. And in building these T-72s, I actually have a new, I don't know, you can call this a radiator design here at the back, which I actually updated on my older T-72B3. So that's going to have that brand new design along with that turret. And these machine guns are also facing backwards. So for the T-72AV, we have this one is like the standard one. I think there's like searchlight to the side. And then right over here, this one is going to be the Russian 239th Tank Regiment. So it has the Z markings all around with some auxiliary fuel tanks in the rear. Then we have this tank here. This is Ukrainian, the 4th Tank Brigade. So yeah, they started using markings. So in Minecraft, the Russian and the Ukrainians, they kind of looked like the same. But for this one, I just added like a little bit of birch just to make it a little more Ukrainian. So then next door, we have the T-72B tank. These are the older T-72s. So yeah, also the side armor doesn't go as far back as that one. And like I said before, the antenna is different. Now this one's obviously Ukrainian because it has the Ukrainian flag and it's all yellow. This one's actually from the 24th Mechanized Brigade. And yeah, pretty cool design. And then right over here we have another one. Now this is the same unit, but it does have the newer, I think 2024 canopy netting here in the back. Like a foldable cope cage, and it has a little bit like leaves in it for camouflage. And then over here, this is like your standard, you know, T-72B, just undecorated kind of plane. It doesn't really belong to any army, maybe the Soviet Union. Then right over here, this is going to be the Russian one with the Z markings, and they painted the bore evacuator white, and they have Z markings all around. I also built the Kornet ATGM. This is an anti-tank guided missile, and it's kind of like a man portable version, so they put it on this tripod, and then basically you would go up under here, and then this is where you would fire this missile at a tank. I also have the new version of the M270 MLRS for the Japan Ground Self-Defense Force. So yeah, here is what it looks like. It's 5 blocks wide now, and I recently learned it's like based on the Bradley chassis, so it should be 5, not 4 blocks wide. On my older one, I do need to redo this one for the Americans. But yeah, here's in the Japanese camo when it's in transport mode. And then when it's firing the rocket, well, technically it doesn't fire like this. It needs to rotate this thing. But it's getting ready to fire, I guess. I also have some new BM-21 Grads, and this is because I recently was redesigned the Ural 4320. So this one is the coolest version of the lot, where they put like the cope cage on the top of it. Really cool design. And they put a little cage here on the hood as well. So yeah, it's based on the new Ural chassis that we built. I'll show you the regular truck later in the video. Here it is kind of plain looking, and here it is compared to the older Ural 375D. So yeah, you can see the vent here in the front. That's going to be the main difference between them, but I also updated the design of that one, and I changed it to the same button design for the headlights, just like on this one. And yeah, we have a bunch of them, and in the back here, this one has a large snorkel, so this black Ender Dragon head versus, you know, the Sea Pickle, the Urals, they have a little variation. And then this one just has the Z marking, which is just this direct wall on the side. So I did say I redid the Ural, so yeah, here it is, the new Ural 4320. This is like a really common standard Russian army truck. And yeah, this is the brand new design. Now we have a bunch of different variations here. So first off, this one is going to be your standard one. You know, it's a 6x6. Here's how it looks like all around. And then behind it, we have another one, but this one has a small snorkel. So you can see the newer ones, they have the dragon, or Ender Dragon head. Then this one in the back, I just have it with the tarp down like this. So there's all sorts of variations. And this one is with the Kung shelter here in the back. So that's another variation, like this armored module thing. And then I also have the 4x4 version. So this has one less axle. And this one's also like a double cab. As you can see, it's pretty wide. And then this is your standard 4x4 with a regular cab. And then this one has an extended chassis. So look, it's like extra long here, but I guess it is still used as well. And then this one doesn't have a tarp. And I did update the other Urals that are in the arsenal, like the APA airfield starter and the field trucks. Another new truck is the ZIL-131. This is an older Soviet truck. You may remember before I made it like a decontamination vehicle, but I decided to make that into a standard army truck. So here is how it looks like. And then there is another one with like no tarp, and it's just like these fences right there in the back. And then this is the one with the Kung. So this Kung is actually a little bit different. It has less windows than the other one I made for the Ural. See the difference between the two. And I also have one Kung with like a trailer here in the back. That's what it looks like. I also finished up the BM-13N Katyusha. Now this is actually quite interesting because they're actually using an American Studebaker US-6 truck. So yeah, the Soviet Union, because of the Lend-Lease, we gave a lot of our trucks to the Soviet Union, and they sort of copied their design and making their own trucks, but it started off as American, and it's having these Katyusha rockets. Very simple, like the predecessor to the BM-21 Grad, and got the red star marking on the side. So it's like a very old World War II era one. And this is one with the blocked windows like that. I also finished up the K-10 ammunition resupply vehicle. This is the reloader for the K-9 Thunder. which is a South Korean howitzer. So these two guys, they will go together, and then this thing actually like hooks up to the back of this. There's going to be like a hole there, and then it just transfers shells across. I also finished up the Komatsu LAV. This is for the Japanese Ground Self-Defense Force. And yeah, here's what it looks like. Maybe it's kind of like a Humvee. And yeah, I have a couple of different variations. Like this one is just plain green. Then this one has camouflage with like this kind of basket things on top. And this one behind it, they have the turret doors open and they act as kind of like walls or shields on the sides. And it doesn't have that basket on top. And then this one doesn't have any turret, so it's kind of plain. And I guess they have, lots of variations of these. I also did an update on the BMPs and the BMDs to make their tracks, narrower. So you can see they're like half width, just like the BMP-1. And that's going to be also updated in the Kubinka Tank Museum. I also updated the M2 Bradley, so they actually have like real road wheels here on the side. Before I just had a bunch of stairs. But now you can actually see the wheels, and that's going to be updated for all of them. And if you're subscribed, you may already know that we have a Liberty ship inside the arsenal. So yeah, you guys can download the world if you guys want to download this. And also, since that video, Chizz did ask me to change these trapdoors from acacia to spruce. So that is a more accurate color, because before they're using a texture pack. And then here's an update on Kyiv, Ukraine. Maidan Nezalezhny, which is Independence Square. And yeah, it's been like probably like almost a year since I last really updated this. You may have seen some YouTube shorts, but since then, a major update is the Hotel Ukraine actually finished up. Added this red roof, and there's a little building on top along with the Ukrainian flag. Also added the hotel in English right there on the side. And they're a little bit down below here where they have this parking lot area, the steps to get up. And yeah, there's also like this whole section I was working on where the dome, like this thing didn't really exist before. I had to build the whole mall area, and it's still under construction. And if you see inside the dome, you can see there is multiple levels. And then you can also like walk along to, this is the entrance, I guess, to it. And another area here on top, I just added, like a window thing here. It's gonna be stairs, go down to the street level. Especially if any of you guys are from Ukraine watching this, comment down below. But yeah, this is a pretty cool view to, look out and chill. And then if you look here in the sky, we actually have a flyover, and we'll get to that in a minute. I did change it from the YouTube shorts, actually made them fly higher this time, and I adjusted the formations. And over here, there's actually this flag bridge. So Dark Mystic, I asked him to take pictures of Kyiv a long time ago, and then one of the pictures he sent was like this flag bridge. There's a bunch of flags on this bridge. So I thought that was pretty cool, so I did add that. I started working more on this road. We also have the beginnings of the statue. I still need to do a lot of work. Another thing is I started adding like the water to all the water fountains. And someone just told me he's in Kyiv. He said the fountains are gone, but whatever, man. This is actually like a mixture of timepieces of Ukraine. So, the past and the present, of course, because like Antonov N225, that's not going to exist. But yeah, I just want to make it look nice with the fountains and everything. I did update the design of these banners so that looked like this. Before I had like trapdoors, but that looked really, really ugly. This one is so much better. And I also started adding like the plaza for this area and moved everything back, and also made this building a little bit bigger. And then for these tanks, I actually changed them up a bit so like their guns are facing upwards, so it's like a slanted, so that they're on a diagonal like that. And I also added some more tanks over here. I found out a lot of these guys are from the 4th Guards Tank Division. I still need to like destroy some of them because I just placed them there. And I did update, this bus stop is a new design. Oh yeah, by the way, in the square thing over here, I did add in like this whole thing here. And there's going to be entrance here, and there's like a random triangle. Let me know why there's a triangle by itself like that. I also made this building here on a diagonal, and I expanded this area to put like these Ukrainian flags. In real life, I believe it actually expands all the way here. This is just filled with, memorials and stuff. Maybe I'll add that. That's a bit different from the Google Street View from like 2023. All right, so if we go fly in the sky, so right here in the front, we have a bunch of these Sukhoi Su-27 flanker fighter jets, and they're having the Ukrainian flag with the blue and the yellow, which I believe they did do. And then I have it on the side escorted by some Su-25 from the Ukrainian Air Force. And then behind it, it's going to be our MiG-29s. And then on the side, I added the Su-24M Fencer with the accurate pixel camouflage. All right, and then behind that, we have a squadron of Mi-24 Hinds. So yeah, these are pretty cool Soviet helicopters. And then behind that, we have the IL-76 escorted by some flankers. And there's an 225 Maria like that. And here's how Maidan looks like from above. And this is going to be also available for download. All right, and then here's an update on CVN 71. Yeah, you guys definitely want it as much as I do, but I kept working on this for like past 3 days. Like the whole entire days I've been working on this. I'm still not done. But yeah, for what's new, this is a Mark 38, I believe, weapon station. Special thanks to Reflector for telling me the dimensions. So we have that finished here on the sides, and then here's what it looks like on the other side. And there's also going to be another one right over here in the rear. And I did change up this a little bit, just made this like a slab higher. So that's kind of like a mid-level. Then for the inside, of course, I got to turn off my shaders because if I put shaders on, this looks so dark. Yeah, here is what the hangar looks like. I put in a lot of work on this, adjusting this. And the one thing that's good about, making everything exact is that you'll find like things lining up because they're not going to really give you too much information like where things are. So you just line things up with each other. And then one of the things is the lamp. So I had to do that quite a lot. And I added this whole area down here. And I did find out these buoys, actually one block too long. So I did make it shorter, and that is going to affect everything else. And start adding a lot of detail here in the doors, and got these leak mechanisms. I still need to work on that. And now we have the crane, and actually figured out how long this is because apparently this thing drops down basically the height of this hangar, and also made the space between the doors wider. So that helped a lot, and I added a bunch of detail right over here. I did make these red baskets smaller and added so much stuff over here, but I still need to work more. And one of the cool things about USS Theodore Roosevelt, they actually have a moose, like a head, that's going to be on display because President Theodore Roosevelt, he was part of the Bull Moose Party, so they actually put a moose head in there. That's kind of weird, but yeah, that exists in the hangar. I did not know that. This thing over here, I probably needs to be moved down this way, and that's the next thing I'm going to be working on. Also added like these, panel things here in the ground. And just today, I was working on some vehicles because there's a lot of vehicles on TR. So this is like one of the lifts. So this is in the down position, and then it can go up. If you can do like maintenance, you can climb up on this. And then it's kind of like a cherry picker. I can work on things like this. Then here is how the back section looks like so far. I was rearranging a lot of things, and I did add in more panels here. And then here's another vehicle I was just making today as well. This one transfers like ammunition, and then this one I guess is like a tractor unit for it. And they have a bunch of these like parked here in the back. I'm going to probably build it because without it, it actually looks a lot better if you add in these little vehicles instead of just making the hangar by itself. And there's going to be like a E2 Hawkeye that's going to be parked somewhere here. I also moved up this thing above, so you can see this is a slab instead of a block now. There's all the lights, and add this whole thing here. You figure out what's in this section. It's kind of hard to find a reference for this part especially, so that's the last part I'm going to work on. This part also, I put a bunch of nets. I don't know what they're for. And this railing around this elevator. Now for the workshop area, what I'm working on recently is the Iris-T SLM. So I'm going to have the command unit, radar, and then the actual missile that fires, the launcher. Also working on the PMPM. This is like Russia's or the Soviet Union's bridge system. So it's basically done like the floating bridge part of it. It's carrying a T-80 BVM, my favorite tank. And also have like this little boat. It helps arrange it. But what I do need to work on is the actual boat itself and the truck that it comes on. I need to add in all the scaffolding around it, as well as the bridge transporter trucks, all these Kamazes, because there's couple variations of that. I also was working on the Yenisei armored train that Russia has. It's actually based on, like, I believe Ukrainian railway stuff, but like the Russians, they commandeered it and like they modified it. So yeah, we have a couple cars here, like a bunch of flat cars. They have a flag in the front. And they have this ZU-23, I think, anti-aircraft gun. And then here is a BMP-2. They just mounted it right there for a Cope cage. And then they have this locomotive. They just basically put in like armor here around the sides. And yeah. And then there's like a boxcar, and then there's going to be a couple more cars after that. So in my World War map here, I built, the Ukrainian railways, the CHME3. I don't know how you guys say this, by the way. Do you say CHME3 or CH? It's actually from Czechoslovakia, but yeah, it's like Ukrainian railways. Here is what it looks like. Pretty nice and cool design. It's been a while since I've been making a train. I also been starting work on the Mother Ukraine monument, as basically like this lady from the Soviet Union to commemorate World War II. They put like the sword and the shield. Before I had like a communist logo here, but now it has the Trizub, which was specially made after Maidan Revolution. This is the very beginnings, and yeah, I just made it for fun since I'm just building Kyiv anyways. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the update. And if you guys want to download the Arsenal World, which contains over 350 builds, check out the link in the description on my Planet Minecraft. It's gonna be on Patreon. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.